Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to this week's Everton show. The season is underway and we got off to a fairly decent start, didn't we? There was certainly much to be encouraged about during that 1-1 draw with Tottenham Hotspur in the Goodison Park sunshine. Graham Stewart is sharing the sofa with me this week and it was a right good point that, Graham.
I think it was. I think if you look at the way Tottenham have played against us in the previous two seasons, they were by a long stretch the better side. So especially first half, we've, as you say, plenty to be encouraged about. They did come into it a lot more second half, but we talked about fitness levels and what have you, and that needs improving upon, and I think that showed in the second half.
There was a real feel-good factor about the place though, wasn't there? There
was. I think the way we started the game, plenty of passion, plenty of tempo to our game. We're going to have a good season, I'm sure we are.
It certainly was a bright start. There'll be plenty more reflection on our opening day performance very shortly, and this is what else we've got for you in this week's Everton show.
We had a few chances to put the game away, but we was under pressure for a little bit of the game, so probably say either team could have nicked it, but 1-1 was fair, yeah.
I absolutely loved it. My time down at Yeovil, some of the best football I'd ever played in my career, and what a fantastic place full of great people.
Myself personally, I'm looking forward to putting on this Everton shirt. You know, it's a very big club and played here over the years, and I know what the supporters are like and what it's like, the atmosphere at the ground.
It will be a different game against West Brom. We have to be very sharp, very focused for that game, because it will be a difficult game.
As I said earlier, Diamond, there was much to be enthusiastic about, not least of all the performance of Idrissa Gueye.
Yes, quite rightly man of the match. I thought his energy levels were excellent. He did things simple on the ball. He used the ball very well. A really, really encouraging full debut for him.
There's not a great deal of him, is there? But he looks an Everton player, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. There's very much so. I mean, you know, Evertonians are going to love him. You could feel the warmth around the ground. You know, he's not afraid to put himself on the line, make tackles. As I said, his use of the ball was very good as well. So if you've got somebody who can do the horrible side of the game, as we call it, and then give it simple to people who can then go off and play, I think we've unearthed a nice little player there.
Martin Stekelenburg did well.
Terrific couple of saves right at the end there. I mean, Martin will be delighted with his performance levels, and as I'm sure the management will be, because when we needed him most, you know, his command of the box was great, but those two saves at the end were terrific.
And there's a point, didn't he?
They did.
Did really well. Well, as I've alluded to already on the Everton show this summer, Ronald Koeman is a man of exceptionally high standards and he's a difficult man to please. When we caught up with him after the Tottenham game, he was reasonably satisfied with what he'd seen, but only reasonably.
I think the first 45 minutes were really excellent. The energy, what we put in the game, and you see the reaction of the fans really supporting the team, and we had the best chances. 1-0 up, and maybe before half-time a big opportunity to score the second one, and then it's a totally different second half than it was now.
Did you enjoy the atmosphere inside the stadium this afternoon?
Yeah, really I enjoy every aspect in the game. The intensity of the game, the reaction, the support of the fans, really great, fantastic. But okay, we need to win that support, because that's all about how the team is playing, how the team is working, how they put the energy on the pitch, and that was good, okay, but we have to continue in that.
It was an all-action performance from Idrissa Gueye on his competitive debut for the club.
Yeah, that's one of his big qualities, is to put that energy on the midfield, to press at the right moment, the cleverness on the ball. That's for Barry, but Idrissa, his quality, one of his qualities, is to put that energy in the team and to win balls and to win second balls, and that was fantastic.
Was you also pleased with Mason Holgate? That was his first competitive appearance for the club.
Yes, of course, he's doing well. And it's not the pending age of a player. He's doing well. We have some injuries. We choose for this system today. And maybe he was a little bit late, 1 second too late by the 1-1. Needs to close the gap, and he lost the header against Lamela. But overall, we had a big, very good performance.
And the third debutant for Everton this afternoon, Martin Stecklenburg, he showed his experience with 2 world-class saves late on in the game.
Yeah, very important in that stage in the second half, because we had it difficult. They create the best chances in the final part, and then you need a good goalkeeper and to have that save just at key moments in the game, and he showed that quality.
As I said, Ronald Koeman is a man of exceptionally high standards, and after what he's achieved in the game, why wouldn't he be?
Exactly, that's what he's bringing to Everton Football Club. He expects high standards off the park and on the park as well. I mean, his summarising of the game there is very, very brutally honest. And that's music to the ears of the Everton fans, because that's what they want, that's what they expect. They watch it and they're seeing it from their manager, and he's explaining exactly to them what they've seen for 90 minutes. So I think we're all happy. We can all see what's happening at the football club. It's going to take a little while till it's 100% where Ronald Koeman expects it to be. But certainly there's a man who's going to drive these boys forward to push us to where we need to be.
And I think he agreed a point was a fair result, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, among the various plus points to emerge from day one was the assured performance of teenage defender Mason Holgate. The kid from Yorkshire was pressed into central defensive action, and he certainly stood up to the test. It was a Premier League debut for him to remember.
Obviously, coming into it, really enjoyed it. There were a lot of fans were great, so it was a good moment for me, something I'll not forget.
When did you find out you was playing?
Yesterday in shape, so I had a little bit of time to get my head around it, so I was looking forward to it, yeah.
Do you welcome that, the fact that you have got a day to think about the fact you'll be playing here in front of a sellout Goodison support?
Don't really matter, as long as I'm playing, it's something regardless of time, I'll try and get my head around. It's just another game of football which I've played through all my life, so yeah, it was good.
You did well out there, the first half in particular, defending in front of the Gladys Street. Some standing ovation there when you made some contributions.
Yeah, obviously great for me when fans are getting behind me like that. It makes it a little bit easier when I'm breathing a bit more, but enjoyed it, yeah.
Do you think 1-1 was a fair result?
We had a few chances to put the game away, but we was under pressure for a little bit of the game, so probably say either team could have nicked it, but 1-1 was fair, yeah.
Well, one of the reasons for Mason Holgate's promising start to his senior career was undoubtedly the presence in the defensive area of the vastly experienced Leighton Baines. Baines is closing in on 350 Everton appearances, and he too was quietly pleased with the team's display last Saturday that kicked off with that early free kick from another youngster, Ross Barkley.
I thought he's done really well, I think, Ross is one of the players who up there we are looking for to get goals. I know today was a bit of a sort of in-swinging cross free kick, but it was really well flighted, and you are taught to aim for that area. It was a great delivery, and one of those tricky ones for the keeper, and in the end it snuck in for us.
No Rom today, he was injured. What was the manager's directives in terms of team shape and the way we played?
Obviously we just changed things a bit and lined up similar to what we did at Old Trafford in Wayne's testimonial, and Jerry's always a threat with his pace and behind, and we look to use that, and it worked for us well in the first half, but Spurs made the adjustments that you'd expect them to with a good coach who obviously had a half time to give his team some new direction, and in the end they got back into the game.
The 3 debutants did well today. Mason slotted in there on the right side of defence, Idrissa in front of the back 4, and a couple of world-class saves late on from Martin to keep us with the point.
Yeah, the lads who come in for the home debut today, and the performances were brilliant. As I say, Martin's probably kept us in the game in the end with a couple of his saves when we were having to dig in a little bit, but that's what you're hoping for every now and again from your keepers, and Martin's come up trumps for us.
It was a big day for Mason. Did you have any words of advice for him before the match?
No, he's been around us now for long enough, and he's featured heavily in pre-season, and he's handled the whole thing really well. He's already earned the trust of the players and the manager, and that's why he was out there today, and you know he's done himself the well to go through the good performance, and I'm sure he'll feature a lot throughout the season.
Lastly, Leighton. Goodison was rocking this afternoon, wasn't it? A fantastic atmosphere inside the ground.
Yeah, it was. It was nice to be back. First home game. There was always a good atmosphere. I think everyone, the fans turned up to, show the support for the team, and obviously the new manager as well. And that obviously helped us, particularly first half. And hopefully there'll be many more good afternoons and good evenings here to come.
When you're a Leighton Baines or a Phil Jagielka and you've got a teenage defender, Mason Holgate, making his Premier League debut, you need to do a little bit of babysitting, I would think, Graham.
There's times, yeah, but I think Mason, as we saw in his interview there, comes across as quite a confident lad in himself. And Leighton mentioned it there as well. He's featured heavily in pre-season, and I know for a fact he's impressed the management staff. So every credit to Mason, and he can only push on from now. But he's got to tap into the experience of the Jagielkas and the Barrys and the Baineses of this world. And if he needs a little bit of guidance, I'm sure the lads will be there to give it him.
How good was Gareth Barry again?
He was outstanding.
Goes without saying, doesn't it?
Especially in that first half. I mean, Gareth, he hasn't played much pre-season football either. And his level of fitness at 35 years of age, is a credit to him as a professional. Absolutely outstanding. It helps when you've got little Adrissa alongside him and the legs that Adrissa has as well. So, all in all, we're going to need Gareth's experience again, and his know-how and his craft and his knowledge of the game.
They could be a really potent midfield partnership this season for Everton. And that's just about it for part one of this week's programme. We've got a few adverts right now. When we come back, we'll speak to the academy coach Phil Jevons on the League Cup draw that has paired Everton with one of his former teams, Yeovil Town. Welcome back to part two. Now, it wasn't just the first team who had a Tottenham Hotspur obstacle to negotiate on the first day of the season. David Unsworth's under-23s went to London on Monday afternoon to take on their Spurs counterparts. And as you're about to see, they did very well.
Everton under-23s kicked off their involvement in the rebranded Premier League 2 with a 2-0 win at Tottenham Hotspur on Monday night. Spurs edged the first half, but found Mateusz Huel in fine form, the Blues keeper saving this penalty from Shayon Harrison. 2 late goals won it for Everton, David Hennen intercepting this pass before racing clear to open the scoring on 79 minutes. And 6 minutes later, Matthew Folds rounded off a win from close range. So a win for the Blues and a welcome clean sheet for penalty hero Mateusz Huel.
It was actually a funny one because in the video it showed that I should go to me right, and I was going to go to me right, and Brendan Galloway told me go left because he knows the fella, so went left and saved it.
It must give you a massive confidence boost, that, looking forward.
Yeah, it's good, yeah. Saved us a clean sheet, and we didn't concede first half, then scored 2 in the second half, so it's a win.
Clean sheets are obviously a priority for you, but how much does David Unsworth place importance on that?
Well, yeah, Unzi as a defender as well, he loves a clean sheet, we all do. Even at the end of the game, where there's like 2 minutes left and we're in 2-0, even if they do score, we don't lose, but it's still the clean sheet that we're fighting for.
Matty Hull's just hit the nail on the head there. As a former defender, Unzi loves a clean sheet.
Well, of course he does, and quite rightly so. And Matty played a big part in that. And it's a vital save because at 0-0 the game can go either way. We've seen it 1,001 times how goals change games. And Matty, kept them at bay, and off we went. David Hennen breaks away, shows a terrific amount of pace and strength to get himself into the box and puts us 1-0 up.
It was a fantastic first touch, wasn't it? Got the ball out of his body, and then he was always going to win the sprint.
Well, he was. I mean, he's a fast player. He's confident. He drives straight for the goal, and that's what you want to see with forward-thinking players, getting into that box, and the finish was not to be sniffed at either.
I was going to say, it's all right getting there. Yeah. You've then got to finish the job off, and he
did
it.
He did it with aplomb, yeah. Really, really strong finish.
Great start to the season for the boys, isn't it, the 23s?
Terrific start. I mean, they've won the Cups, haven't they? At the start of what was pretty much their mini pre-season, really, for them. But to go into their first Premier League 2 game and win is a nice start for the boys.
Certainly, so far, so good. What a start it's been for those under-23 lads. 3 pieces of silver already from Northern Ireland. Then we had the Liverpool Senior Cup, then the Lancashire Challenge Cup. Now a victorious start to their Premier League 2 campaign. Winning is a big part of trying to make the grade here at Everton Football Club, but as David Unsworth knows only too well, it's also about the style.
I'm respectful of any style of football. There's more than one way to produce players, there's more than one way to win games. But actually, you know, the way the manager wants to play is what I believe in as well. I believe in high pressing. I believe in, you know, attacking football. You know, when it's right to play forward, you play forward, and everybody working together as a team, both attackingly and defensively. So they're the sort of basic principles in which I believe in anyway, and which we've been doing for the last 3 or 4 years.
Just a couple of players to mention. Obviously, Mason's made the step up to the first team. Premier League debut on Saturday, did excellently. You've got to be proud of that.
Very, very. Still a long way to go for him though. You know, it's one game. I thought he did very well. He needs to learn. He needs to listen to, you know, senior players alongside him, listen to the management staff. But it was a really, you know, decent performance against a very good team. You know, Tottenham are going to be right up there this year. And I thought he coped with it, not a problem. You know, he handled the situation. You know, he was calm in possession. You know, nothing fazed him. And I thought he grew into the game. And he's had a good pre-season, Mason. He's come back. He's gone from sort of a young pro into a man now. And with that comes extra responsibilities, and he's took those responsibilities on in pre-season. And very proud of him. Very proud of him, as I am all our young players.
Russell Griffiths as well. He's had his first taste of league football. He's out on loan at the moment at Cheltenham. That move will do him the world of good.
Yeah, it's great for him. It's great for our young keepers to get a loan move. It's quite difficult to manoeuvre the young goalkeepers in the Football League. We've found that quite a test over the period where young goalkeepers, you know, not a lot of managers are willing to risk young goalkeepers coming in and actually playing every week. But Russell again has had a great pre-season. You know, he's done a lot of work with Andy Fairman, our goalkeeping coach. He's doing a great job with our young keepers. So we're delighted that he's got his move, and B, he's going to be playing every week. And the feedback so far is that he's doing very well.
And like you say there, David, experienced managers are always inclined to look to an old experience, been there before, goalkeeper rather than someone who's got great potential, someone who just needs an opportunity.
Well, everybody needs an opportunity, be it a coach, a manager, a player, whether a young player or what, everybody needs an opportunity. But what we found over the period is that young goalkeepers struggle to play Football League and to get that opportunity. So we're absolutely delighted with Cheltenham that they've taken Russell on loan. It's something that he needed. It's something that he needs. He needs to play first team football. It's really important for goalkeepers to play as many games as they can. And you know, we've only got a first team and under 23 team, so we can only play 2 goalkeepers every week. So we've got a lot of talent. You know, Matty Yule's a big talent as well. So to get Russell out on loan in league football is great, and we're delighted with that.
I'll tell you what, Graham, fair play to Cheltenham Town for giving a young goalkeeper an opportunity.
Well, very much so. I mean, as David explained there, I mean, it's a big decision for a football club to take a young keeper, and they'll see it as a calculated gamble. But more importantly for us, it's a great opportunity for Russell Griffiths to get some experience. It's the physicality of that league will do him the world of good. And just the fact that you're playing for 3 points on a Saturday, as opposed to pretty much friendly games in some respects, will bring him on.
The physicality is a big part of the learning curve, isn't it? Because there'll be some big centre forward who's been around the lower leagues all his life. He'll look at this Everton superstar goalkeeper and think, I'll have a little bit of you.
Yeah, well, that's the challenge that Russell's got to stand up to. You know, we've seen certainly in the lower leagues, you know, the first thought, crosses in the box, challenges, and Russell's going to have to learn to stand up for that. And I'm sure he'll do very well. And as Unzi said there, the feedback so far is that he's doing all right.
You mentioned Mason Holgate there, and we've also spoken regularly about your Tom Davises, your John Joe Kennys, your Kieran Dowles, your Matty Penningtons. How big a role has Unzi played in their development and the fact that they've adapted to first team football so well? Yeah,
huge, along with all the coaching staff at Finch Farm. But certainly David's been the figurehead there, and he's the consistency with those boys over a period of time. And obviously he's doing an awful lot right. They're responding to what he's saying. And you know, he was a top player, David, and he's incredibly proud of all the boys, and long may that continue.
We must get Unzi on the Everton show one of these weeks. Right, let's have some quick reflection on the draw for the EFL Cup second round, the League Cup, as you and I know it. The draw gave us a first ever competitive meeting with Yeovil Town. We've never played them before, and connections are few and far between. But former Everton striker and current academy coach Phil Jevons is one of them.
I absolutely loved it. My time down at Yeovil, Some of the best football I'd ever played in my career, and what a fantastic place full of great people. In particular, Darren Way, who we played with for a couple of years there, and is now their manager. So I'm delighted that we've drawn them in the cup, and they're going to come up to Goodison Park.
What are your outstanding memories of those 2 years you had there? Because you scored goals for fun in that time.
Yeah, well, I scored some spectacular goals. We won some good games, but the overall biggest achievement was when we won the league down at League 2 to get promoted in my first season into League 1, which was a fantastic achievement for the club.
What kind of a club is Yeovil?
It's a family club. It's really close-knit. They've been overachieving, if you like, for quite a while, especially that year they had in the Championship. But I think it's a club of determination. Achieved by unity is the motto, and I think that's what they've got. You know, when you go there, you feel a real part of the club, and you want everyone to be successful, and you want to be a part of that. So that's how I felt when I was there, and I'm sure Darren Way's got that feeling going there still.
Are you still in touch with Darren then, their manager?
Yeah, I speak to him all the time, and he phones me and gives me a bit of stick, and I do the same to him sometimes. And as soon as we found out that the draw was the draw, you know, we were onto each other straight away. So, you know, it's great.
And you were saying just off camera then about how when you was a player at Yeovil, you very nearly drew Everton in a cup match.
Yeah, we actually ended up drawing Bolton. I think us and another club were the last two out of the Football League to be drawn, and then there was Bolton and Everton, the last two out of the Premier League to be drawn, and we missed out somehow. We drew Bolton, so that would have been nice. I was actually a player there at the time, and I would have loved to have drew Everton in the cup. So luckily enough for the players at Yeovil now, they get a chance to come to Goodison and play.
And how much are you enjoying your academy role here, Phil?
I'm loving it. Yeah, it's not as good as playing. You know, you can't beat playing, but it's the second best thing. I enjoy coming in to this fantastic environment and teaching young, talented footballers little tricks of the trade, and you know, teaching them how to be better and take the responsibility to be the best they can be, and it's really enjoyable.
Everton versus Yeovil in the League Cup, Graham, should be a smooth passage.
Well, we'd like to think so. I'm glad we're at home, I know that one for sure. But no, I mean, Yeovil, terrific draw for them. You know, they'll relish coming to Goodison Park. All the pressure's on us. No expectation on them. They can come up and have a good day out. And but they'll play with plenty of pride. So I'm sure Ronald will look to, you know, blood a few more players, mix the side up a little bit. But we've got plenty in the tank. We should deal with them, no problem.
Yeovil have had a real roller coaster few years. They came from nowhere up to the Championship. Now they've gone back down to League 2. They're just starting to settle down again. They won't be coming to Goodison just to make up the numbers, will they?
No, of course they won't. No, I mean, everybody else may think that, but certainly within their camp, they'll be coming here. And as I say, there's no pressure on them. They can relax and enjoy the occasion, play their football, and it's up to us to deal with that situation, which I'm sure we will.
Just before the break, Graham, some really sad news this week for the football club. Sid Benson, a much respected and much loved scout at Everton, passed away, and he'll be missed.
He will be missed, yeah. Very sad news about Sid, and you know, our thoughts are with his family and friends at this sad time for them. So, you know, terrific guy. Great character around the place, wasn't he? Always had a smile on his face. He did have a smile on his face, and it'll be missed around. That's certainly for sure.
The thoughts and prayers of everybody associated with Everton Football Club are with the many friends and family of Sid Benson. And that's it for part 2. Our big interview slot is coming up after this short break, and it's an Everton show first for our brand new signing. Don't miss part 3 because it's all about Yannick Bolasie. Welcome back. Now, as I said before the break, this section of the programme is all about Yannick Bolasie. Born in France, he moved to London as a boy, played a bit of non-league football, then he signed for a club in Malta. Then he knocked about the lower leagues in England for a while, then he signed for Crystal Palace, and he plays his international football for the Democratic Republic of the Congo. There's much to learn about the fascinating character that is Yannick Bolasie.
Myself personally, I'm looking forward to putting on this Everton shirt. You know, it's a very big club, and you know, I know about the club from when I've played here over the years, and I know what the supporters are like and what it's like, the atmosphere at the ground.
You scored your first Premier League goal at Goodison Park.
Yeah, I did, you know, and to be fair, I was just happy, you know, but you know, I remember when we conceded a goal, you know, when Everton scored, you know, the way the crowd changed, you know, it's the kind of support that I dream of, and you know, hopefully they can be behind my back when I start going.
What kind of club do you believe you've joined? Obviously, you referred there to the atmosphere, but you know the history, the tradition.
I've joined the club that have loads of quality players, and obviously I've produced a lot of quality as well. You know, the likes of Rooney. You know, you still got Ross here, and not forgetting Romelu who's there as well. So I'm just looking forward to playing with these quality players.
And of course the manager as well. You're looking forward to working with him.
The manager, obviously, you know, I know about him previously. You know, I think there was a little bit of interest in when he was at Southampton. You know, reading some of the comments that he said about my game. You know, and obviously he was a top centre back when he was playing for Barcelona. So you know, it's going to be really interesting learning off him because, you know, he would have played with some of the elite players and some of the best players in the world. So it's going to be good to take some tips off him. You know, because as a personal target, I just want to get better and better, and you know, I feel I've done that since I've been in the Premiership.
Last season, 6 goals, but 2 months out with a hip injury, so you've got some in the bank.
Yeah, you know, obviously I started off quick last season, but then ended up getting injured. I think it was the game after the game that we played here, and we drew Palace drew 0-0. You know, we went to Stoke and, you know, picked up a 2-month injury, which was a bit disappointing, you know, because I was confident of, you know, reaching my goal target, which would have been 10 goals. But it didn't happen, but I still came back strong, and now I've got a new challenge on my hands playing at Everton Football Club.
Something you can do this season, hopefully.
Yeah, looking forward to it, you know. You know, this team belong in the top 6, that's for sure. So I'm going to be trying to help the team get up there, that's for sure.
And you've selected the number 14 on your shirt?
Yeah, you know, I used to watch Henry score goals in that number, so I've picked that number. So hopefully I can come and bring that kind of stuff to my game.
He knew a thing or two about taking on defenders?
Yeah, that's what I look to do. Well, that's what gives myself a buzz, you know, taking on defenders. That's what I do, and you know, I've played winger all my life, and I'll be looking forward to doing that in front of the Everton supporters.
You developed your skills looking at the Wembley Arch from your bedroom window, I believe.
Yeah, there's a park outside, you know, and I think I've seen a couple, you know, on the way to the training ground here. You know, not very similar. Just playing with loads of people in the park, and you know, that's benefited me. You know, obviously I haven't come through any academy system or anything like that, but it's definitely played a part in the way I play on the pitch these days. And you know, a lot of people would say my style is very unpredictable, but so be it. You know, I like it that way.
Well, you've played non-league football, and you've played in front of 100,000 people for Congo, so you've kind of seen it all.
Yes, I like to think so, you know, but you know, I'm really looking forward to playing in front of the Everton crowd, because I know it's like, as you said, you know, when we conceded the goal, you know, you almost kind of get scared, you know. The supporters here make you feel like on the back foot, and that's what it felt like when I was playing for Palace. So I look forward to them getting behind myself and the team.
When you made your debut at Didcot Town,
yeah,
the railway man, you got paid £20, and you were buzzing about that £20.
Yeah, I was buzzing, because for me, football, I just like to play, you know, and it's not really all about all the money and stuff, you know. For myself personally, it's about looking at the ambition of the club and where the club's trying to get to, you know, bringing in the manager, and obviously the signings already, like Ashley Williams, who I know well. So you know, it was a no-brainer to come here, that's for sure. Because you know, before last season, you know, I know Everton have always finished in the top 6. So it's going to be really interesting this season. I look forward to being a part of the team.
You love to play. You work hard at your game.
Yeah.
Your roots are in the Congo, and that's very important to you. The hunger that you see in some of the Congolese kids out there.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of things that go on in Congo, you know, but and it's very, very eye-opening, you know, and these kind of things make a person like myself not take things for granted, you know. So now that I've come to Everton, you know, obviously job's not done. You know, I've got to work hard and, you know, feel my way in. But you know, I'm sure I'm going to be ready and up for the challenge.
You'll know that you're coming to a community club here, and I'm sure you'll embrace that side of the club.
Definitely. You know, I think Palace were like that as well. You know, family, tight knit club, and obviously talking to Andy Johnson as well before. You know, talking to him all summer really, and he was telling me the nitty and gritty. So definitely looking forward to that.
Skepta, Konnichiwa, grime music. What's that all about?
I saw a lot of the people are starting to get to know grime music, you know. Obviously the Lights of Stormzy, you know, just done a video with Pogba, so if anyone don't know what grime music is, that's what it is.
And your MCing, that's coming on too?
Yeah, you know, I might make a couple of lyrics, you know. Let me just hit the ground running first and then I'll start.
You want to let your feet do the talking here, don't you?
Yeah, definitely want to let the feet do the talking.
Grime music, Graham. Let's talk about grime music.
Next.
I'm with you on that one. What will this boy bring to the Everton dressing room apart from grime music?
Plenty of energy, which is exactly, you know, what we've been talking about, what the gaffer's been talking about. He wants energy, he wants, you know, people to take players on, score goals, excite the crowd, get people off their seats. And I think Yannick's a sort of player who can do that. Comes across as a really level-headed young man. And I think the fans are certainly going to take to him. And I think he's important as well from the team dynamic. You know, there are times in the Premier League where you come under pressure. And if you're on the edge of your own box and you're soaking up pressure, if you can get that ball out to somebody like Yannick, he can eat up 40 yards quickly. He can give you a chance as a side to get further up the pitch, taking people on, keeping hold of the ball. He's strong, he's aggressive when he's on the ball. He's got a trick or two, as we've all seen over the years as well. So I think he's really going to excite everybody at Goodison Park.
He's direct as well, isn't he? Which is a defender's nightmare.
Well, it is. I mean, the last thing in the world you want as a defender is somebody who's willing to take you on. And you see it less and less in the Premier League now. You know, people always tend to take the easy option. I mean, in fact, to be honest with you, here at Everton, I think we've probably got some of the only wide men who like to take people on in Aaron Lennon, Kevin Mirallas, Jerry Delafeo, and now Yannick as well. So we're not too badly off for it, but I see it all the time in the Premier League. Wide players taking easy options, coming inside. You know, these guys here can take players on, and we're looking forward to seeing that.
And I love stories like Yannick's as well. He's played non-league football, he's been there, he's grafted for a living, and he appreciates everything that he's got.
Yeah, terrific. And the fans are going to love that in him as well, because they're working class people. And as I say, he seems a real level-headed man, knows his roots, and he's got a hunger in him. And if you're a player with a hunger and the sort of talent that he's got, we're on to a winner.
You mentioned there 4 quality wide players, and Ronald wants competition for every single place on the park, doesn't he?
Of course. I mean, as successful squads and successful sides are made up of having competition. And that's what we want. We want hunger, we want passion in our side, and I'm certain that Yannick's going to bring plenty of that.
It's very, very early days in the Premier League season, Graham. Tottenham Hotspur is just about as tough a test as you could get. It was so important not to lose that game, wasn't it? Because we need a little platform to build on.
Well, it was. I mean, we've had a disappointing Premier League campaign over the last 2 seasons, so it was important we got to a good start, especially at Goodison Park. And it was a good point based on, as I said earlier on in the show, Tottenham, I think, were probably the best team that I've seen at Goodison Park over the last 2 seasons. I mean, they haven't quite got over the line in terms of winning it, but certainly in their performance, you know, they were the best I'd seen over the last 2 seasons. So they did come on strong in the second half. We've spoken at length about our fitness levels and what have you, but we'll go again. You know, we were terrific for that first 45 minutes. The crowd reacted to that. If we can then make that 60 minutes at West Brom on Saturday, hopefully in that 60 minutes we'd have delivered the goods and got a couple of goals and given ourselves that little bit of leeway. But certainly over the next month or so, we'll get to where we need to be, and hopefully we're in a position to push on.
It's all shaping up very nicely, isn't it? Well, before we take a break, we've got some nice footage of Yannick Bolasie on his first day as an Everton player. The days of signing your contract and then simply posing with the manager and a blue and white scarf in the park end are long gone, as Yannick Bolasie found out.
You're the one that eats me up inside. You say you'll come and see me, make my fear subside. Come and see me, and you'll make everything alright. I've had it before, babe, but I'm alone again tonight.
Nil Satters, nisi optimum, nothing but the best.
That may or may not have been grime music, by the way. Neither Graham Stewart or myself have got a clue. We'll be back in a couple of minutes for part 4 of the Everton show when we start the countdown to our first away game of the season at the Hawthorns. We're in the fourth and final segment of this week's programme, and earlier this week Everton Football Club revealed our brand new third kit. The club, the retail people and Umbro themselves always go to great lengths to make sure the design is a closely guarded secret. But on Monday evening at the Everton store, the cat came out of the bag and it was very well received.
Hello everyone and welcome to this exclusive behind closed doors event here at the Everton One store, and welcome to those viewers joining us on Facebook Live as well for this exclusive launch of the third kit. Our special guests are here and ready. Let the countdown begin. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashley Williams and Idrissa Gueye. Okay, at Liam Howe 11 asks, how do you become a really good footballer, Ashley?
You better ask Idrissa.
Idrissa, what do you like most about Everton Football Club?
The team, the club and the supporters.
Six, 7, 8, 9. Oh! Screaming in the Gladys Street or a tapping at Anfield?
Tapping at Anfield all day.
What about you?
Screaming at Gladys Street, sorry.
I like that kit, Graham.
I do like it, Daz. It's certainly better than last year's green one, in my opinion. But one thing's for certain, when you've got a yellow kit, you've got to have top-of-the-range washing powder, Daz. Too many washes and it starts going green, so hopefully we've got that sorted.
I'll take your word for that. The two new boys seem like great lads, which I'm sure you've been there, is important.
Of course it is, yeah. I mean, not only are you bringing in top players, you've got to make sure they're good characters as well, because that's what the dressing room at Goodison Park requires, and at Finch Farm. You spend an awful lot of time with each other, so you don't want any bad eggs in your dressing room. So, but these two lads are good. Ashley showed in the European Championships what a good organiser he is. You know, somebody with a great deal of passion for the game, and somebody who clearly is a team player. And Idrissa's obviously already shown us that as well.
The Tottenham game was just too soon for Ashley, but he'll be involved at some point, won't he?
I would think so, yeah. You'd like to think so against West Brom at Hawthorns on Saturday. It'd be good to see him out there because, as I say, he's a leader, and we could do with one of them as well.
He's a quality footballer as well. Right, let's concentrate on the Premier League now. West Bromwich Albion were one of 7 Premier League teams to win their opening fixture last weekend, so they'll doubtless be full of confidence when the Toffees rock up on Saturday. But so will we, of course, and it's a game that Kevin Mirallas is looking forward to.
I like play against West Brom. I play 4 times in West Brom. I scored 2 times. For me, I like this stadium. I know it's difficult game because West Brom is a team playing back, strong team. But I hope you win this game because it's so important for start the season very well.
What do you remember about those 2 goals?
I remember my first goal against West Brom. Good pass from Brom. I go 1v1 the goalkeeper, and the second one, my shoot is not very good, but the goalkeeper little bit fight the save. But I'm happy because last season you win this game. I don't play, but the most important is not me, it's the team.
What does that do for your confidence, though, particularly as an attacking player? You go into a stadium where you know you've scored before.
It's good because you have stadium, you know, when you have injured or you fight something, you say, remember this game is not good, I don't like this pitch, but you need to focus well, and you say, okay, no problem, and change. But West Brom is true. Every time when I play West Brom, I feel very good, and I hope Saturday is the same feeling.
You mentioned as well that they're a team who like to defend. They'll make themselves difficult to beat. What's it like when you're going into a game and you know that's going to be the challenge that's going to face you?
When you play against the team, you defend very well. You know you have a lot of possession, but it's good and as well as dangerous because you keep confidence. You say, okay, I keep the ball, but sometimes you lose one ball. Is one action for West Brom, for another team is difficult. But when you have possession, you keep confidence. You feel good, and I think you have 2-3 opportunity for score. Saturday against Tottenham, you have 2-3 opportunity in first half. You don't score. In the second half, the game changed, but Saturday you need to score the occasion for winning the game.
West Brom had a good win last week against Crystal Palace, Graham, didn't they? They will be, as I've said, full of confidence.
Well, they will be. Terrific away victory for them down there at Selhurst Park, and they'll go into the game Saturday, as you say, Darren, full of confidence. We know what Tony Pulis' sides are going to be like. They're set up, they're strong, they're dangerous from set pieces, they're hard to break down. But hopefully we've got players in the side like Kevin, like Yannick Bolasie, that can break those sides down with a moment of magic.
You know exactly what you'll get from a Tony Pulis side, but doing something about it is a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
Well, we've seen it over the years. You know, they make life very difficult for you, and Kevin alluded to it there. They give you plenty of possession. They're quite happy to do that, and then they want to hit you on the counter-attack, even when they're at home to a degree. So I expect much of the same Saturday. I expect us to get plenty of the ball, but I also look at the final third. That's where it counts. Can we create opportunities to get behind that back four and get down the byline, pull the ball back and get some bodies in that box?
Important to score the first goal, isn't it?
Well, if we score the first goal, it makes life difficult for them because they've got no choice but to come out and express themselves, try and push to score that equalising goal. Leaves gaps at the back, and we've got the kind of players to exploit that.
It's a game we're very much looking forward to. Well, we've already heard from Ronald Koeman in this week's programme, and we're ending with his brother. Erwin Koeman sat down with the Everton show earlier this week to talk about their first away game in an Everton dugout, and also his thoughts on the arrival of Yannick Bolasie.
I think Yannick is a very good player, a strong player, is a runner. He can make goals, and I think we need that. Every year you need fresh people in a squad, and it makes other people's also a little bit more sharp, and we need that. And it's for everybody. It's a little bit different because the last 2 years with Martinez, now with Ronald, it's different for players. But we need a big squad and a good squad to survive the whole year because it's a very long year.
When you have players like that joining players who have skills, who have tricks, who are match winners, it gets everyone excited.
Yeah, but finally he has to show it, of course, and but I'm confident about that. And but he showed the last years that he is a good player. He likes to work, he likes to run, and he has individual qualities. So we need that.
And Ashley Williams as well, maybe he might make his debut on Saturday. He's had a week's worth of training now with his new teammates.
Yeah, but it's all we have to see because he started very late in training after the Euros. He needs also his rest, and but he is experienced. He knows everything about the game in the Premier League. So I'm very confident about that as well. But we have to wait and see what happened this weekend. But you see a lot of players who play the Euros, they did not start in the first game. Also some players had some problems, no holidays. It's very tough for them, but they need a little rest and then they go on. And with Ashley, I'm confident as well.
With that in mind, has this week all been about fitness work for Ashley?
Yeah, he needs training. He needs training, and you cannot put a player after his holiday straight away in the game because then he gets for sure injured, and that's not what we need.
Finally, Erwin, just look ahead to Saturday's game against West Bromwich Albion. They started the season with a 1-0 win at Crystal Palace last week. What did you make of their performance first up?
Yeah, they win in Crystal Palace, so for them it's a big result, and it will be a totally different game than Tottenham, but that's also nice in the Premier League. It's not the same than 1 week before, so it will be a different game against West Brom. We have to be very sharp, very focused for that game because it will be a difficult game.
Graham, you've been in Erwin Koeman's company. He's very much a part of this whole management setup, isn't he?
Oh, of course, without a doubt. I mean, you know, it's great for Ronald because he's got his brother alongside him. No doubt there's a huge amount of trust between the pair of them. They both bounce off each other. They both think the game in the same way. Both want hard-working, honest players. And they speak the truth as well, and the honest truth, and that's refreshing.
That's what the players want, isn't it?
Well, of course that's what they want. I mean, there's difficult decisions to be made, you know, as coaches, as a manager. All you ask as a player is that you're honest with somebody. You may not like what you hear, but at least they're telling you the truth and you can try and do something about it.
And also 2 former Dutch internationals, the players will think, we must be able to learn from these guys.
Of course, and well, they should be thinking that because, you know, the Dutch, they're very disciplined in everything they do on and off the park. I believe that's the case. You know, now down at Finch Farm, you know, there's some stringent routines down there. And it's all designed to be disciplined off the park and on it so that when big decisions have to be made on the park, we make the right ones.
They're good company as well, aren't they?
They certainly are.
And that's another hour that's flashed by. It's been another busy show, but just let me plug our official magazine very quickly. We've revamped it for this coming season and it looks terrific. It's out right now and features Yannick Bolasie, Ashley Williams, Idrissa Gueye. There's an emotional interview with Michael Branch and as always, much, much more. We think it's great and I'm sure you will as well, so do look out for it. Thanks for joining us this week from myself and the Diamond. A very good night.